This is the SubnUp pedal by TC Electronic, and this is some funky strumming. The SubnUp is just saturating the sound a little bit by adding a little bit of vibrato chorus. It's the tone print setting that comes stock on the pedal, and now here's the rest of the track. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Devin Bishop. I cover guitar related content and I just try to have fun along the way. So let's get into it. So I bought this pedal about 3 years ago, and I bought it because I was hired to do a bunch of looping stuff, and I was just a solo guitarist, you know, playing at a bunch of bars and different things, and I wanted to emulate a bass. And so I bought this pedal, and what I did was I would dial in some dry signal, and then I would dial in the sub octave signal, and then that would be my bass for my loops. Now this worked great. It did have a little bit of an interesting sound and character to it, and it didn't 100% sound like a bass, but it was in the bass frequency zone, and it functioned underneath all of the stuff I was doing on top of the loop. So here's how the sub octave sounds underneath of like some piano and drums, and me on my electric guitar just playing bass, emulating a bass, but playing on my guitar. Now here's that bass isolated. And you can hear it sounds just a little bit wonky, but it works for looper stuff. So now let's talk about the different settings and how this pedal kind of functions. So the main thing you see at first are these 4 knobs. And the first one is the dry signal, and that's just the guitar, whatever signal is being sent from there. So if you have pedals before, you know, the dry signal of whatever's happening before. So I would put this kind of towards the beginning, maybe after compression or just before compression. And the dry signal of my guitar right now just sounds like this. And you can hear that tone print coming through. Now here's the sub octave sound. Here's the up octave sound. And now here's the sub second 2 octaves down sound. Now let's do this on the classic setting. The classic setting just sounds like the guitar dry. Almost sounds the same before and after. And here's the pedal off. Almost no difference, right? And so here's an octave down on that setting. Here's an octave up on that setting. Sounds a little bit like a toy to me. And then here's your second octave down. Now, depending on how you're listening, you may not have heard the second octave down whenever I started down here. And that's because it goes so far down whenever you play your E string. You know, it's 2 octaves lower. And to me, the sound is a little bit gurgly until you get to like the A note, the 5th fret. And then the sound sounds like it kind of levels off, you know, but it's still like a super deep sound. Whenever I was using this for bass emulation, I never used the sub octave down, just the first octave and the dry signal. At the beginning of the video, what you heard was the pedal on the tone print, and then the dry signal all the way up, a little bit of the sub and a little bit of the up, and no sub 2, which is just kind of like this. Now, the last thing to mention is this pedal has 3 different settings. It has a polyphonic setting, a tone print setting, and a classic setting. I mostly just use tone print and classic. I didn't ever really use the polyphonic setting, but the polyphonic setting sounds very similar to the classic setting, almost the same. So, for instance, let's go through the 4 different ones again, and I'll let you hear what those sound like, but now on the polyphonic setting. And now I'll turn the pedal off. And there's a little bit of change there because my attack on the pick was different. All right, now the sub setting. And then when you go to the up, mostly where I hear the difference is on the up sound and the sub sound. Not really anything on the dry sound. The tone print actually changes the dry sound. Okay, so the last thing to mention is when you're dialing in the sounds, you won't hear anything until you get to about here. So this is the same for all of these. So like right now, there should be some dry signal ideally right there, but nothing is registering even on Logic right now until right there. Then Logic starts to recognize that there's sound coming through. Right? Now, once you get there, it's not like it's 0 to 60. It does dial in, all the way through. But like I said, you won't hear anything between this point and this point. I don't think the pedal's defective at all, and I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing. It's just something that you need to watch out for as you're dialing in your tone, because if you're here and you're trying to dial in a little bit of sub, you're not going to hear it until you get about there. Then you'll hear something. So thanks for checking out this YouTube video today, guys. My name is Devin Bishop, and I will see you in the next video, which will be next week.